22 missed calls. That's what flashed on my phone the morning my parents were supposed to leave for their anniversary cruise. The one I'd spent $12,000 on. The night before, my dad had texted, "We just thought it might be better without you." I didn't argue or plead. I simply replied, "Sure thing." They mistook my silence for surrender. But when the cruise line refused to let them board, they finally understood what it costs when the family scapegoat stops paying to belong. My name is Rebecca Hale. For most of my life, I bought family peace, flights, hotels, birthday dinners. If I paid, we could all pretend we were a happy family. So when my parents' 40th anniversary came, I did what I always did. Handled everything. 2 upgraded cabins, spa packages, shore excursions, even a night at a seaside hotel so Mom wouldn't complain about early flights. $12,000 gone in a click. I told myself it was a gift, a chance to make us feel like a family again. Mom, Evelyn, loved perfection. She wanted photos for social media, captions about gratitude. Dad, Richard, played the peacemaker as long as no one challenged her. My older sister Ava was always the favorite, fragile and unpredictable, the one we all tiptoed around. Then there was Mia, the youngest, 16, still believing family meant safety. I used to believe that, too. The week before the cruise, the group chat went silent. No packing updates, no questions about tickets. When I texted Mom, she just sent a vague "can't wait" with a heart emoji. Ava didn't reply at all. Mia, who usually sent me memes and outfit pics, stopped texting. That silence buzzed like the moment before a blackout. I told myself they were just busy, but deep down, I knew it was a warning. 2 nights before departure, I called Dad, running through flight times like always. He sounded cheerful, almost rehearsed. "Oh, we've arranged our own shuttle," he said. Something cold twisted in my gut. "What shuttle?" I asked. There was a pause, then he said it, "We just thought it might be better without you." I stared at the wall, letting the words sink in. After everything, they wanted me gone. The phone slipped from my hand. Miles, my boyfriend, looked up from the couch, reading my face before I said a word. I didn't cry or shout. I just picked up my phone, opened their message thread, and typed "sure thing." I didn't sleep that night. The message burned on my screen long after it went dark. I'd paid for the cruise, but I was still the outsider, the extra piece in their perfect family photo. Every few minutes, my phone lit up with old texts from Mom. Reminders to pack sunscreen. "You're the best, honey." Each one felt like a lie, written to buy time before the betrayal. At 6:13 the next morning, I made coffee in a silent house. Miles leaned against the counter, watching me. Did they say why? I shook my head. Just that it would be better without me. He exhaled. "That's not better. That's cowardice." I just stared out the window, sunlight crawling across the street. I'd spent my life fixing their messes. Maybe this time, I'd let them sit in one. By 7 a.m., my phone started buzzing again, but not with apologies. Mom's first voicemail was furious, her voice clipped and on the verge of tears. "Rebecca, this is ridiculous. They won't let us board without the cardholder present. You have to call them right now." I took a sip of coffee. "No, I don't," I whispered. After 22 missed calls, I finally answered. "Rebecca," she snapped, "we're standing here with our bags like criminals." I put her on speaker. Miles watched from the doorway, arms folded. "You should have thought about that before deciding I wasn't worth having around," I said. "You're humiliating us," she yelled. "No," I replied. "You did that yourselves." Then I hung up. 3 hours later, the pounding started, sharp, impatient knocks at my door. I stood at the top of the stairs, watching their shadows blur through the frosted glass. Miles came up beside me. "Want me to handle it?" I shook my head. "No, I want to see their faces." Mom barged in first, all perfume and fury. Dad followed, trying to play peacemaker. "It's beyond childish, Rebecca," she snapped. "Do you know how much you embarrassed us?" "I think I have an idea," I said. Dad lifted his hands. "Let's not yell. We just need to talk this out." That phrase, "talk this out," was code for "you'll take the blame." When Miles stepped forward, calm and barefoot, Mom turned her anger on him. "Ever since you started dating him, you've changed. You've become cold, distant, calculating. Miles didn't flinch. "Leave," he said, voice low but final. "You don't get to insult her in her own home and still expect her to fix your mistake." For a moment, even Mom went silent. Then she turned, muttering about ungrateful children, and slammed the door. The quiet that followed was heavier than any shout. It was the sound of something breaking and staying broken. For 3 days, the house stayed quiet. No calls, no messages, just silence, thick and waiting. I tried to work, but every sound, the ping of an email, the creak of the floorboards, felt like a memory knocking. Miles said nothing, just kept making coffee for two. That was his way of telling me I wasn't alone. On the fourth morning, my phone started buzzing again. 22 missed calls, one after another. I didn't answer until the 23rd ring. "Rebecca." Mom's voice exploded through the speaker, sharp with panic. "They won't let us board. They said the card holder has to be here in person." I set my mug down. "That's strange," I said, "because you told me it would be better without me. This isn't funny. You're making us look ridiculous." "No, Mom. You did that yourselves." I hung up and turned my phone face down. Miles leaned against the counter, his mouth curved in a knowing half-smile. "Consequences," he said. I nodded. By noon, the doorbell rang again. Heavy, furious knocks. I watched from the top of the stairs as their shadows reappeared behind the glass. Mom's posture stiff, Dad slumped. Miles asked quietly, "You sure you want to open it?" "Yes," I said. "I want to see how they spin it this time." Mom burst in, hair frizzed, lipstick uneven. "Rebecca, do you understand what you've done? They treated us like scammers. Everyone at the port saw." I crossed my arms. "Maybe next time don't commit credit card fraud." Her eyes widened. "Excuse me, you used my card for a trip you disinvited me from." "That's theft, Mom." Dad stepped forward. "Sweetheart, we just need to talk this out. There is a bit. That's France. The one you use when you want me to take the plane." Mom's voice cracked. "You embarrassed us. We are your parents." "I'm aware," I said quietly. "And you made sure everyone else is, too." Miles came down the stairs, hands in his pockets. His calmness made her angrier. "Ever since you met him, you've changed," she shouted. He smiled faintly. She learned how to stop paying for her own humiliation. For a second, no one spoke. Then Mom turned to leave, muttering curses. The door slammed. This time I didn't flinch. I let the silence settle, thick and peaceful. It didn't feel like loss anymore. It felt like the start of something I should have done years ago. I didn't hear from them for 3 days. Then, on the 4th night, Dad texted dinner. "Just you. We need to talk." No apology, no explanation, just an invitation that read like a summons. I told Miles I'd go, but asked him to wait across the street. He nodded, not trying to change my mind. That was the thing about him. He knew the difference between rescuing and witnessing. Their porch light was already on when I pulled up, too bright, too welcoming, like a stage set. Inside, the good dishes were out, napkins folded, silverware polished, the bottle of wine I'd given them last Christmas uncorked as if generosity could be recycled. Ava greeted me first with a brittle smile. Mia didn't look up, her shoulders tight. Mom floated in like a TV hostess. Dad took his seat at the head of the table. Hands folded, the performance of a reasonable man. We tried small talk. It clattered to the floor between us. After a few forkfuls of roast chicken, Dad cleared his throat and leaned back. The signal we'd reached the real script. "It's a shame the cruise didn't work out," he said lightly, as if the weather had canceled it. "But the family still needs a break. We found a great deal, resort in Arizona. 5 nights spa infinity pool." Mom slid a glossy pamphlet across the table. "If we all split it, it will be easier for you. Easier for me. Always for me." I kept my face still. "Who's paying?" Dad chuckled. "You handle logistics so well," Ava added. "You always do." The room tilted. I looked at Mia, whose lips pressed into a thin, brave line. She whispered so quietly I almost missed it. "They won't stop." Mom's head snapped toward her. "Enough." I pushed back my chair. "I'll think about it." Outside, the air felt cleaner. Miles sat in the car, watching the porch. I slid in and said nothing. He didn't ask. We drove home in silence, the kind that protects, not punishes. The next day, a gift bag appeared on my doorstep. Gold foil leaves, a white bow knotted too tight. I brought it inside, set it on the coffee table, and stared at it. Miles raised an eyebrow. Do we open it or call it what it is? I opened it. Inside, a crisp envelope, a folded brochure, a printout thicker than it needed to be. My name at the top of the reservation confirmation. 5 nights, Villa Desert Peak Resort. Guest, Rebecca Hale. Additional guest. I flipped to the back. The payment line made my vision sharpen. Card ending in 1174. My card. They'd used the stored information from the cruise. Again, the air left my lungs not from the amount but from the message. You don't get to choose. We do. Miles came in from the kitchen when he saw my face. What happened? They used my card, I said. It's non-refundable. He watched me for a long second, then asked softly, So, what do you want to do? I turned the papers over. The dates were this weekend. Check in under my name. My responsibility, my power if I wanted it. They expect me to cancel, I said. To fix what they broke, to eat it. Then don't, he said. That landed in me like a key turning. We packed light. Sunscreen, 2 paperbacks, sunglasses. I forwarded the booking to my email again. My name, my address, my confirmations, my payments. Receipts sat in a neat folder on my phone. Quiet soldiers lined up in a row. The flight was short. Arizona, air greeted us like a warm hand. The resort lobby was glass and desert stone, soft music and cool air. A woman at the front desk smiled. Welcome, Miss Hale. The sound of my name, in that tone, welcoming, not demanding, loosened something in me. She handed over the key cards. Check-in took 10 minutes. That's all. 10 minutes to feel like I'd stepped back into my own life. The suite was bigger than the photos. A private terrace looked out over Red Rock. There was a plunge pool, a bowl of oranges, linen curtains that moved like someone breathing. Miles set our bags down and whistled. This is nicer than I pictured. It should be, I said. I paid for it twice. We did nothing for 2 days. Hiked a trail that smelled like sage. Ate breakfast on the terrace while we watched. Napped with the curtains open. No calls, no texts. I put my phone on airplane mode and felt my body remember what quiet could be. On the 3rd morning, I turned it back on. Notifications rushed in like water through a broken pipe. Missed calls, messages, voicemails. The first one made me laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was so predictable. Mom, did you seriously take the trip? Dad, the resort says the room is occupied. You need to fix this. You humiliated us again. Text from Ava, peppered with selfish and dramatic. One from Dad tried the old soft landing. Your mother is upset. We didn't think it would go this far. It had gone exactly as far as their choices had taken it. A voicemail from Ava played next. They won't let them in. They said the reservation is under your name only. This is low, Rebecca. I took a slow breath and recorded a new voicemail to Mom. My voice sounded steady and adult in a way it rarely had with her. You stole from me. This is what happens when you steal. I hung up and set the phone down. By afternoon, the narrative had spilled online. My cousin Sophie posted a group photo from a barbecue with a caption about family first. Underneath, a comment, Where's Rebecca? A minute later, Mom replied, she chose not to come. We don't know why. She's been acting strange. My chest tightened, not with surprise, but with a quiet fatigue. A new message arrived from Mia. They're lying. I'm sorry. She attached a photo of the old cruise itinerary I'd put together. My name at the top as the pair. Then I'm going to tell the truth. You don't owe me that, I typed back. Take care of yourself. But the family wheels were already turning. Aunt Karen sent, Can you share the invoice? 2 cousins messaged within the hour. Is it true they used your card again? I didn't rant or explain. I sent screenshots, payments, statements, receipts. Every time I pressed send, the anger in my ribs loosened another notch. Facts are calmer than apologies. Facts don't shake. By evening, the group chat I'd muted months ago lit up with dozens of new messages. Confusion, defensiveness, thinly veiled scorn. I didn't participate. I poured sparkling water, walked out to the terrace, and watched the rocks go gold. Miles joined me, shoulder to shoulder. You know what this feels like, he asked. Like the moment when a bully realizes the teacher's been standing in the doorway the whole time. I smiled. The teacher is the terms and conditions. Exactly. The next morning, a block number called twice. On the third try, curiosity won. Dad's voice was careful, each word placed like a chess piece. We didn't think it would go this far. Your mother is upset. You used my money, I said. Twice. That was a misunderstanding, he said. You thought my silence was permission, I replied. A pause. We're sorry if things were misinterpreted. There it was, the apology for my reaction, not their action. I didn't give it oxygen. I ended the call. By noon, an envelope slid under my door at the resort. Thick cardstock, gold leaf. My mother's handwriting a little more jagged than usual. We didn't mean for it to go this far. We just wanted to feel appreciated. Sorry if we crossed the line. No check, no offer to reverse charges, just a plea to restore the old hierarchy where I paid and they forgave. I set the card on the table and went swimming. When we flew home 2 days later, the air in our house felt like it belonged to us. No leftover shouting, no old guilt. I made coffee. Miles fed our plant and put on an old record that sounded like summer. By evening, the family narrative had started to buckle. Sophie posted a vague quote about people who smile at you while rewriting you behind your back. Mom's best friend stopped liking her posts. Aunt Karen sent a final text. You deserve better. I told them so. Dad went quiet. He always did when flames licked the truth. Then Mia called. She didn't say hello. She breathed for a second, then whispered, They told me to block you. I won't. I sat down. Are you sure? Yes, she said, steadier. I'm spending Christmas with you and Miles. If that's okay. It's more than okay, I said. It's home. After we hung up, I opened the folder on my phone one last time. Payments, receipts, statements, small rectangles of proof that I had spent years buying a version of love that never existed. The resort photos sat above them, orange light, open sky, my feet at the edge of the plunge pool. I saved those, not as proof to anyone else, but as proof to myself. That night, as I lay in bed with the window cracked, I realized the confrontation was over. It hadn't ended with a slammed gavel or a heroic speech. It ended with a boundary that held, with stolen money rerouted into my own peace, with silence that finally belonged to me. 3 months passed after that last message. No calls, no family emergencies, no new drama, just quiet, the kind that doesn't ache anymore. Life found a rhythm I didn't know I'd been missing. I woke up without dread. I cooked breakfast without rehearsing arguments. Every time I checked my bank app, I smiled, not at the balance, but at the calm behind it. The only transactions now were mine. Mia came to stay for 2 weeks in February, bringing her nervous laugh and too many hoodies. We painted the living room while Miles played old records. We didn't talk much about our parents. Some wounds don't need words. They need distance. One night she asked quietly, Do you think Mom really believed what she did was okay? I thought for a long time. I think she believed whatever made her comfortable, I said. Some people mistake comfort for love. Mia nodded. I used to think family meant forgiving me. Now I think it means not letting it happen again. That's when I realized she'd crossed the same bridge I had, just younger, braver. When she left for college, she hugged me tight. Thank you, she whispered, for showing me what peace looks like. After her flight, I sat in the car crying, happy tears this time. By spring, the whispers had stopped. My parents went silent online. No family photos, no quotes about forgiveness. The facade had cracked, and they were too busy holding it together to post. Peace isn't quiet because there's nothing left to say. It's quiet because you finally stopped explaining yourself to people who never listened. Now, when people ask if I miss my parents, I tell them the truth. I miss the idea of them, the version I kept paying for, not the reality that kept taking. The real loss wasn't the cruise or the money. It was the years I spent believing love had to be earned through suffering. These days, Miles and I host a small workshop at the local library, Boundaries and Balance. It started as a joke, but turned into a circle of people learning the same thing I did. Peace isn't selfish, it's survival. Sometimes after the sessions, I sit by the window and think about that Arizona sky, wide and gold. That's what freedom looks like. Ordinary, steady, earned. If you've ever been the one holding a family together until it broke, tell me in the comments. Because maybe your silence has power, too.